What's up guys, welcome to the channel. My name is AJ. This is going to be a straightforward how-to video on seasoning your Spanish cedar trays or drawers for your cigars and cigar humidors. And this method right here is exactly what I use to season the Spanish cedar trays from my Tupperdor, which you've probably seen already in those previous videos that I have on the Tupperdor. I also used it for seasoning the Spanish cedar trays for my Needone Humidor as well. So all the items required are as follows. First up, you're going to need an airtight container. If you're using the same Spanish cedar trays for your Tupperdor and you can use that container, then that would work perfectly for this. If not, Ziploc makes these giant freezer bags which are airtight and they work perfectly fine. Actually, I use these same freezer bags to season my Needone drawers, and these 10-gallon bags I was able to fit 2 drawers in there at once, so that came in very handy. The second thing you're going to need is distilled water. Now this is very important because if you use tap water or spring water or anything else, all the impurities from that are going to lead to mold very quickly. So make sure you use distilled water. The third thing you will need is a small bowl or small container to hold the water. And last, you're going to need a hygrometer to keep track of the relative humidity. So now that you got everything, let's get into how to season the drawers. Keep in mind that the whole process from start to finish is going to take between 5 to 7 days. So let's keep it simple and straightforward. The first step is to take the bowl and fill it with some distilled water and place it in the container or the bag that you're going to be using. And the order that you do this in isn't really important, but this is how I'm doing it for my Sistema Tupperware container. So I put the distilled water in first. Then I'm going to take the Spanish cedar trays and place them in a way so that they're not touching the bowl or the water. Then I'm going to place the hygrometer here right in between the Spanish cedar trays and keeping it clear from the water as well. And so the next step is to seal it up. And then after that, the most crucial step is do not open it. So don't peek at it, don't look at it, just forget about it for the next few days. So now, how long until those trays are seasoned? Well, it's going to be at least 3 days, maybe even longer. But what we're going to do is we're going to wait for that hygrometer to read 75 relative humidity. And don't rush it. As soon as it hits 75, don't go open it up. Let it stabilize a little bit at 75. See if it keeps climbing higher. This is good. So maybe even until it gets to like 80. So once it hits 75 to 80 on the hygrometer, what you're going to do is go ahead and open that seal now and just remove that bowl of water and seal everything back up. And what we're doing now for the next 24 hours is we're going to confirm the humidity of the Spanish cedar alone without any distilled water. We want to make sure everything is good to go before we add our cigars. Now, after 24 hours has passed, you took out the distilled water, it's been sealed the entire time, and it's still reading 65 RH or higher. This is perfect. Now it's time to put everything together. So go ahead and remove the trays in the hygrometer, put them in your Tupperdor, and fill it up with some of your favorite sticks. And once you have your Tupperdor or your humidor completely set up now, you've got the wood in there, you've got your cigars in there. Now you want to watch the hygrometer for the next few days. So here's what you're going to want to look for. If it's dipping below 60 RH, this could be a problem. Under 60 RH means the wood is going to start absorbing humidity from your cigars, which is not good. It's going to dry them out very quickly. You're going to have to season those trays again. Just repeat the same seasoning process over one more time. If you're getting readings from 62 to 70, then you should be solid. That's a good range to be in. Now, if it's reading 70 or higher, that's nothing to worry about. This is actually a lot easier to deal with. What you're going to want to do is take out the trays from the humidor and let them air out for a few hours. And then just put them back in your humidor with your cigars. And as long as it's reading below 70, you're good to go. If not, you can just air them out for a couple more hours at a time until you get it exactly where it needs to be. All right, that's not the end of it just yet. I have some very important tips to give you guys as well. Before I do, make sure to smash that like button. First, you want to keep in mind that there's going to be a little bit of a stabilization period. So don't sweat it if it's not reading exactly what your Boveda is. As long as you're in a safe range between 62 to 69 RH, I would even give it up to 2 weeks for everything to stabilize. Now, with Boveda packs, they're going to stabilize everything over time. However, you want to keep in mind that Boveda does a great job of raising humidity but not so much a good job of lowering it. So we're going to use this little fact here to our advantage. Knowing this about Bovidas, it's actually a good time to play with your setup a little bit. You can start at a lower RH if that's your preference. So if you were getting readings in the low 60s, I would definitely just leave it alone and let the Bovida bring everything up and let everything stabilize. So if you had cigars that were too high, that Spanish Cedar will help regulate everything and bring them to the same level because it will absorb some humidity as well. This is what I did with my cigars because I found that they were way too high humidity. I even removed all of the wrappers at this point and let them sit in the Spanish Cedar in my Tupperdor and let everything acclimate to my 62% Bovidas. This helped reduce the humidity in all those cigars and bring everything down to a nice even level. And now if it's in the high 60s, there's nothing wrong with that either. It'll just take more time. And eventually the Bovidas and the wood, everything will stabilize over time. It'll just take a lot longer. It's also very important to have a precise hygrometer. If you guys want me to do a tutorial on how to calibrate a hygrometer, I can make a video on that as well. But basically, you take your hygrometer and the Bovida that you're going to be keeping your cigars in. For me, that was 62% RH. And you put it in a Ziploc bag, actually double bag it in a Ziploc bag. Let it sit for a couple days and then make your adjustments. Now, I think that covers everything. If not, and if you have any questions, do not hesitate. Leave a comment below. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe. Oh, and check out my link tree, man. I got some great deals in there. It's in the description box below. Thank you for watching.